Hi everyone, I'm John Rafferty. I'm your Member of Parliament, and I welcome this opportunity to say a couple of words and to say that first of all, that we've had a very, very busy winter. We had prorogation. Your voice was not heard for a couple of months in the House of Commons, but I was very busy during that time. Of course, I was on my anti-HST tour around Ontario, fighting harmonized sales tax, and reminding people in Ontario that this is a deal, a federal deal by Mr. Harper and Mr. Ignatieff to charge HST, and so they try to blame it on Mr. McGuinty. Mr. McGuinty tries to blame it on them. There's lots of blame to go around. The bottom line is the end user, you, are going to pay another 8% for gasoline, for heating fuel, for electricity, and the list goes on. So we have now, as of a little while ago, we've lost that fight at the federal level to stop the $4.3 billion being sent to Mr. McGuinty. Now the fight shifts provincially, and I'll be working with my Ontario NDP counterparts to keep up the fight against harmonized sales tax. And it's a question of just trying to make life affordable for everybody in Ontario. It's about affordability, it's about fairness, and really it's about the largest tax shift in Ontario's history. It's going from big banks and oil to the consumer. A huge tax shift. On one hand, billions of dollars in tax breaks for corporations, more taxes for ordinary Ontarians, and particularly people in Northern Ontario who are going to pay an extra price because we don't have a choice. We have to heat our homes. We have to light our homes. We don't have great public transit. We have to use our vehicles, and it's going to add a lot to every family. It's going to add well more than $1,000 onto your total bill, and those who are going to be hit hardest are those on fixed income, seniors and others who simply can't afford. I travel around the riding, and I talk to lots of seniors, and seniors tell me they can't pay their electricity bills now. There are a couple of increases coming in your electricity bill. Not talking about the HST, just increases in your electricity bill and transmission and so on. And then there's going to be another 8% on there. And I don't know what people on fixed incomes, some people on fixed incomes, are going to do. And it's not, it is about fairness, because it just simply doesn't make any sense that people who've worked all their lives, raised their families, and are on fixed incomes can't stay in their homes because they simply can't afford to heat them or light them, and that's wrong. So I'll be continuing that fight. There are some exciting things happening right now. I've introduced a bill to protect pensions. I'm hoping that in my discussions with all the MPs in the House that we're going to be able to push this through quickly. Essentially, what it does is move unsecured pensions, which is what happens now under the Bankruptcy Act, to move them into a secure position. So people who have paid into pensions will get that money back in the form of pensions. And I think that will help to lift Canada out of the dark ages as far as pensions and pension protection is concerned. So I'll be fighting on that, and hopefully you'll hear some news over the next couple of months on how successful we are. I am hoping that before the next election, we will have some great success with this one going through the Senate and passing and becoming law. So I'll be working very, very hard on that. And it's important, of course, not just for people who are already retired, but this bill will protect those who are working now, and will protect their pensions. And it's critical that we do that, particularly in a resource-rich area like Northern Ontario, where we've taken certainly more than our fair share of a hit in terms of the forestry downturn and so on. So I'm very excited about this bill. I'll be working very, very hard to make it happen, and I hope that I can count on your support to do that. As summer approaches and we get into summer, I would like to also remind everyone, particularly in my riding, that we stay safe, It's very easy when you are in a beautiful part of the country with lots of lakes and lots of activities that we stay safe and that everybody takes care of their families the way families need to be taken care of, and so I implore everyone to do that and to be that way. I'm also in the middle of a battle right now with the Conservative government in my portfolio as the critic for international development. I've been very involved for the last year on maternal health and maternal and child health around the world, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to convince this government that there are ways that we can help, that our aid dollars can be spent really, really well. They can be cost effective, and they can work well for women and men and families right around the world. So I'll just give you a couple of statistics to give you a good example. Every minute of every day, there is a woman in the world who dies because of pregnancy complications. It's an enormous human toll that's taken every year. 99% of those deaths happen in developing countries. They happen in Africa and Asia mostly, but there's a way that we can, as a country, that we can contribute to helping to reduce these deaths. And one of the ways that we can do it is to provide education and to provide contraception for women and men and families in the hardest hit parts of the world, to help save lives. And we can save 1/3 of those women with education and with family planning if they have the choice, if they have the tools and the choice to make those choices. And how can we do that? How can we save 1/3? 1/3 of those women who would normally die in childbirth or die because of childbirth complications? Well, it's pretty straightforward. If women and men, if families have the tools to plan their families, and when I talk about planning, I mean delaying the first pregnancy, for example, to space children, to have fewer children, and also to be able to stop having children when a family has reached the size that mother and father want the family to be. And it's scientifically, at least the United Nations tells us in their studies, that 1/3 of those deaths can be prevented with that sort of help from Canada. And we've been a supporter in the past for many, many years of international Planned Parenthood, and I'll be pressing the government to continue to do that. So it's another fight, it's another battle, and you might say to yourself, well, what does that have to do with me? Well, what it has to do with you is it's the kind of face that we want to put forward. That we want. How do we want the rest of the world to view Canada? What is the face that we want to put to the world? And I think we want to put a face to the world that is compassionate, that is empathetic, and I guess are there mice in the ceiling here? Is that why? And I mean, that's the kind of face that I want to see for Canada. A face that is respected around the world, and a face of Canada that people know, when people know that Canada makes the right kinds of choices. So there are some battles. We are fighting hard on your behalf, not just myself, but all the Northern NDP MPs, and we're continuing to ensure that CBC remains a national broadcaster. We're continuing to work with this government to ask them to make sure that we protect the forestry and the jobs that we have left. And to also ensure that the opportunities, the resource opportunities that we have in Northern Ontario are used for the benefit of everyone, not just corporations, not just big companies, but everyone. So in closing, everyone, I welcome this opportunity to say hello. Thank you very much for listening, and you'll see me around the riding. Feel free to come up and say hi. Let me know what you're thinking. You can phone one of my 3 offices. one in Fort Francis, one in Atikokan, one in Thunder Bay, anytime, and I'll get back to you. If not in person, I'll get back in phone if you wish. So I'm accessible, and I'm there to help. So on behalf of my staff and myself, I do wish you a happy and safe summer, and we'll be talking again. Okay, bye-bye.